Hey, you, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great weekend. Rainy, stormy here, but still a great day because we're going to talk about what we got with Andrew Yang on the Bill Maher show. And I only got one word for you. Wow. Good job, Andrew Yang, for the Andrew Yang campaign. So, if you haven't seen the show yet, we'll try to leave a link in the description for the full show. You really need to check it out. But Bill Maher is one of these rites of passage again in the political arena. If you're not familiar with the Bill Maher show, Real Time with Bill Maher is a show that's been happening on the HBO channel for a while now. It's a type of mix-up political comedy show, kind of reminiscent of something like what you got with the Daily Show. But it opens up a big arena for political candidates and major issues on the at the forefront in the political world that needs to be addressed. And so Andrew Yang getting on the show was a very big deal. Gonna just talk a little bit about some of the stuff I was impressed with, and the question that we got from Bill Maher. Now, things are happening just like I thought it would happen with Andrew Yang. If he gets to sit down with you for 5 minutes and you listen to him, you become a believer real quick. And I could kind of tell that was happening with Bill Maher because that's usually what happens when common sense meets the crazy political world that we have today. Usually when common sense goes up against what we've had in our politics and in our country for up until forever, people have to confront the reality of this makes sense. And that's what's happened with Andrew Yang. But some of the things I thought was impressive and that was very important was specifically dealing with this idea that UBI, the freedom dividend, as Andrew Yang clarified, that the freedom dividend term is used because it's tested better, it works better, it doesn't connect to the stigma of universal basic income being some type of handout where you're going to cause people to go through a state of atrophy when it comes to work. So the idea is that people won't work under UBI, thus they will have no purpose. So this is what Bill Maher brought up. And this is a question that comes up quite a bit when we do our Andrew Yang videos. And Andrew answered the question excellent. He said that, we're going to have to start to rethink what work is and what purpose is, right? Because let's take a step back from that for just a moment here. Does purpose to us really translate to people going and doing monotonous work, labor work every day, and somehow that fulfills them? Let's think about certain factory works, right? And it's nothing wrong with making an honest living when it's needed, but there can be many things classified as work just as important as doing a repetitive task for 12 hours, 14 hours a day. Yes, it makes sense when it's needed. But I've seen people do factory jobs where they'll take bottles that come out of a machine and straighten them up and let them run down a conveyor belt, right? And they might do that 10, 12 hours a day or whatever the case is. Now, are you telling me that just because the market has classified that as some type of work, that taking care of your family isn't work, that creating some great work of art isn't work? The point I'm trying to make is that purpose doesn't equal repetitive tasks. And the reality is that machines and robots can do those things better. They don't get tired. They don't flinch. They don't make mistakes. They don't fall asleep at a machine and injure themselves fatally or someone else, right? And so there are more important things we will need to adjust to and move to. And I think Andrew did a great job of helping Bill Maher understand that in the audience in general who have that question in their mind that, hey, my wife, She takes care of our children, right? One of the children has autism. That's a great task in itself, right? And what job is more important than family and parenting, right? Are those things not important? Educating your kids. Think about this as well. Let's say that the freedom dividend or UBI did kind of become this purpose, this thing that took away your work and your purpose, right? Well, if you're a parent at home, right, and you're no longer able to do your job, you might want to consider maybe homeschooling your children, right, or something like that. Getting more educated and being able to school your children, right? What could be more important than the education of your kids? And it's been proven statistically that a lot of homeschool children are a lot more intelligent than public school children. And I've seen such cases. But the only point I'm making with this whole example and the question from Bill Maher was that you can basically recreate and repurpose what work is and what purpose is, and it won't make any difference to the economy of the world, provided that something has stepped in to do those tasks and replace the workers in that task, right? So I thought that was great, great how Andrew relayed that message, and I think it came across quite well to the rest of the audience. Bill Maher also talked about that he's in a great lane, he's in his own great market, and he is, right? He's going to have such an impact on the world during these debates. When people listen at Andrew Yang talk about automation, and then they sit back and they wonder, what is candidate X, Y, and Z's plan for this automation? Because I know it's something to it. I see it happening around me, right? What is the plan for that? And to find out they have no plan, right? They have absolutely no plan, right? But then he also talks about how the freedom dividend will grow the economy, right? Because all we're going to do is spend that money right back into the economy. So Bill Maher's processing all this. He's getting all this information, and so is the audience, because they get it. They understand how that works. Spending that money right back in the local communities, because they understand that's what people are going to do as soon as they get the money. They're going to spend it, right? All excellent points. What an excellent show. Now, some parts that a lot of people kind of didn't like at the end, and that had to do with the overtime with Bill Maher, and that was he got the question with Elizabeth Warren wanting to break up all these tech companies, right? And, they kind of ran out of time with the questioning and kind of laughed it off at the end. I don't think it had a real major impact on all the positives that came out of this interview with Bill Maher, because these people got it and they understand it. And Andrew Yang is on the map with them right now. They understand his position and why it's so important, in contrast to the other candidates they're getting. But it would seem that Andrew Yang was saying that that's not going to solve the problem, which he was right, that approaching issues that are 21st century problems with old 20th century solutions and directions is not going to solve the problems overall. And that's one of the problems I've had with the candidates and our current administration, that, I'm wondering, and this is just a thought, there is a certain age limit, a certain age that the president needs to be, right? But I'm wondering, should we have a certain age group representation of the members of our government, our Congress? And I say that because, think about this for a moment. We live in a very technically advanced world, right? And there are a lot of problems that are coming up in this 21st century world that we need people who understand how the technology works. We need people who understand what the roadmap for this tech looks like 10, 20 years down the road. And a lot of people we have running our country and in our Congress are dinosaurs. They're Congress people that You can't get rid of. They keep winning elections. They've solidified their positions in their states, and you can't get rid of these people. And that means no new ideas and no fresh ideas and no new way of doing things. Right? We got a president who's handling things like before Ronald Reagan was there, and things like that, and has that mindset of back then going into the 21st century. And, I think it's a time that this has to get factored in, that we're dealing with people in a more balanced, represented way of who understands the complexities of our world in a technical sense, and not just a political bravado, we're greater than everybody else sense. Right? We need more than that. We need more than just a president who doesn't get pushed around. I mean, that is a good quality of what we get from Donald Trump, that he doesn't let people push him around. I'm not saying it's a bad quality, but I'm saying we need more than that. You see what I mean? So I thought it was great, guys. I thought it was a great show. And tell me, guys, what you thought about his participation on the Bill Maher show. Bill Maher show. I think he did a great job. I keep saying Bill Maher. I'm thinking about John Maher, but it's Bill Maher. It's Bill Maher. I know, because I've watched the show for years now. But now I want to take us over to another segment that has to do with the Consensus 2019 cryptocurrency that Andrew Yang was a part of.
Some yanggangers out there, love it.
There's a lot of overlap. I've noticed, the crypto folks and Yang folks.
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing.
So it seems like a lot of you know who Mr. Yang is, but maybe some of you don't. So I figured we'd just start this off with you just kind of talking about what you're trying to do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Yang. I'm running for president in 2020, and I just qualified for the Democratic primary debate, so I'll be one of 10 candidates to come on stage. And if you've heard anything about me, you've heard there's an Asian guy running for president who wants to give everyone $1,000 a month. And all of those things are true. I'm championing a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for every American adult starting at age 18. And I have to say, I found a ton of alignment with the cryptocurrency community, because anyone I talk to in the cryptocurrency community has a mindset of abundance and optimism and the future, and are trying to make things happen. And you all see that if Americans were receiving a dividend of $1,000 a month, we could replace this mindset of scarcity that is sweeping our country and tearing communities apart and get their heads up. So when I realized that alignment, I was like, no wonder I like all my friends who are into crypto. This idea, now I'm happy to say, has brought me to the debate stage. It brought thousands of people out in the rain last night here in New York. And I wouldn't be where I am without the internet getting behind me. So I was introduced as the internet candidate, and that's a label I'm very, very happy to wear proudly.
So I would probably get in trouble if I didn't start off asking, of course, about the memes that have emerged to support you.
Yes.
Okay, guys, so I want to bring this to your attention as well, that Andrew Yang is a big supporter of the cryptocurrency community, and it's becoming an important part of the election process. If you don't know what cryptocurrency is basically, if you were to picture how our money system is created today, how our information and data is released today. If you think about a computer that is centralized, that is controlled by, let's say, a government or one entity, that's generally how our money is printed and how our information is released. Right? But in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and decentralization, you have the public controlling many of these computers and running the applications on these computers across the globe. So it's not controlled by one group. It's not controlled by one government. It's not controlled by one entity. And besides data and information, there's also money involved. So they have what you call a cryptocurrency, which is a secure money that can now be sent across the globe. It's deflationary, meaning that unlike our central banks and governments who can print money, there's only so much of this cryptocurrency. So it doesn't allow for inflation in the terms we think about it. And because of those things and all of the economic freedom it presents, as well as data, freedom over data and control of your data and information, and the fact it can't be erased because it's shared across all these computers. That's why it's becoming so important that cryptocurrency be part of the political systems today and part of the system today and be accepted. And Andrew Yang gets that, he understands that, and that's why he supports the cryptocurrency community. He's also taking donations for his campaign and election, and these cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So all very, very important. And I'll leave a link in the description to this video. It's a great video that you all should watch. And this is very important because the cryptocurrency community is getting vastly behind Andrew Yang because they understand the importance of having politicians who are pro cryptocurrency, because there are some that aren't, because of the idea of this government control. And some people in these particular offices don't want to give that away. So giving the freedom back to the people is what cryptocurrency is all about. And Andrew Yang is behind us on that. Also, so very important, he even talks about during his presidency, he would like to basically create something like a coin that can be used to award for good social deeds, to award the community for helping the elderly or volunteer work, and a variety of things like that. And the idea of when we talk about purpose, in a world where maybe machines will eventually do all of our jobs. I also think it's very important to understand that purpose won't go away with the jobs, that we will find other means of purpose, right? But even though the market might not give value to this purpose, through systems like what Andrew Yang speaks of, we will be able to do that. So this is all very important, very interesting. And if you're in cryptocurrency, a few things. If you are in cryptocurrency, more than likely you're watching this video because I do the channel is probably 90% cryptocurrency. And if you're in the cryptocurrency, you need a president who's going to support cryptocurrency. You need regulators who are going to support cryptocurrency. And Andrew Yang is that. So I think by default, if you're in cryptocurrency, you should be voting for Andrew Yang. It should be no struggle in your mindset or decisions, because if you don't think he's the best person for cryptocurrency, you 100% need your head examined. And so that's what's happening. This is what happened in an interview with CoinDesk with Andrew Yang at Consensus 2019, which is a big convention for cryptocurrency, for the cryptocurrency space. I want to kind of lead off into that and kind of connect the dots a little bit, in that I run a project called BitcoinNYK.com, Universal Basic Income Program, uses these cryptocurrencies for the globe to transfer value through social interaction and a variety of things. But on our website, we've opened up our chat area that if any of you all have questions, would like to just have discussions about Andrew Yang, you can come over there and you can talk with us in our chat rooms. And if you do that, we got a cryptocurrency called BitcoinNYK.com you can get for free. And the only reason we're making that available as well is because a lot of content over social media that we hand out, people have great questions and great comments. And if you'd like to talk live with us sometimes, you can join us over on the website. Anybody who comments and questions on the site, come over and check out the website sometime in the chat room, and you might can have a real live action conversation if you like to have that. And if you do that, we're going to give you prizes. We're going to give you parts of this cryptocurrency that you can actually trade out for real cash dollars. So it's not a game. It's not monopoly money. These cryptocurrencies have what you call exchanges, where you actually can change it up for real dollars of your countries that you live in. Okay, so very important stuff. So want to make that available to you all, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the direction that Andrew Yang's campaign is going and the high profile shows he's being featured on. Stephen Colbert is coming up. We're going to see a lot of more of that, especially after this debate. Everybody's going to know who Andrew Yang is and wonder who he is. When they see him standing up, they go, well, who's that Asian guy? And he's pretty interesting. Well, what is he doing? What's his bag? He sounds so much different from the rest of them. And because of that, those big differences, because generally what happens in politics, you got the same politicians talk about the same stuff, saying the same thing. You're going, okay, yeah, this is their take on this, their take on that. But you very rarely have a politician whose viewpoints are so vastly different and out of left field than Andrew Yang's. And that's exciting, and that gets people interested in politics and what's going on. And so this is going to be all excellent and great to watch, guys. But that's all I want to say in this video. Don't forget to come over to the site, bitcoinnyk.com. Let's talk about Andrew Yang in real live time. Let's ask some questions about what's happening with Andrew Yang. And if you do so, we got your first introduction for some of you all into cryptocurrency, real digital money that you can change for real dollars and move through social interaction, a variety of things. A new great world that Andrew Yang speaks a great deal about in this video at Consensus 2019. But that's all I got in this video. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. The bell notifications on the top right-hand corner of your screen. Once you subscribe, you'll get notifications from that. Hit that, and you can get all our latest videos. Share with your friends. There's important information, important data. This will let them know who Andrew Yang is. Get voting and get what's theirs, the freedom dividend. Until next time, guys, take care.